Welcome back. Okay, go ahead and open up Roblox Studio and let's start with the base plate template. Okay, now let's go and delete the base plate. There it goes. Okay, so let's move the camera. I'm gonna just move it to where, let me see. I usually like to have this Z direction pointing back towards me, but you can position your camera however you like. Okay, so the first thing we're going to make is this conveyor. And so we need a part. Let's go ahead and insert a block. And let's change the size, and a good size. Oh, and let's label this. So let's make this conveyor. And remember, you can rename it by right-clicking and pressing rename, or you can change the name here in the name property of the properties window. Either way will work. Okay, the next thing, actually, and I like to use the properties window also to change the size. So let's change the size to, let's see, let's make it 12, 1, and then a 6. That's a good size. Okay, and let's check what we have here. Rotate and move. Yeah, let's have both of those, rotate and move snap to grid, turned on. That's in the model menu. Okay, and then let's move it a little closer, kind of jumping distance from where we start. And, oh, I see. Okay. And now what we want to do is change the color. So I'm going to make this a nice blue. Let me check. That looks better. Okay, so we have a nice color. We've renamed it. We changed the size, and we remember to anchor it. Again, you can anchor it here, or you can anchor it in using the anchored property in the properties window. Okay. Next, what we're going to do, and actually there's really only one step to turn this into a conveyor. What we do is we go into the properties and we go all the way to the bottom. There's this assembly tab right here, and let me circle this for you. Right here, there's an assembly tab. And what we want to do is open that up. Just click on this little arrowhead next to it, and that will expand it. And there's two properties. There's an assembly linear velocity, and that says the linear velocity of the part's assembly. And what happens is that if this part is anchored and we change some of these values here, it will cause the player to move instead of the part. And so how do we know which direction to move? Well, we want this to move sideways. And so right here, we have these red arrows that are moving in the direction we want. And we just look here at our view selector, and we notice that the red is X. So we want to change the red X direction to, let's make it a 2. Don't want to make this go too fast. Okay, so 2. And that's really it. Now, if we go ahead and push play, we will be able to test this out. And let's see if it works. And it does. And I am able to stay on it by moving in the direction against travel. And great. So that is actually all that's involved in making a conveyor, but we're going to make it look nice. So we're going to open up the toolbox right up here. And we're going to look, well, first of all, we're going to click on Marketplace and Images. Okay. So we have Marketplace selected. We have images selected, and then here you can search for any kinds of images that you want. And this toolbox is made up of things that other Roblox Studio users have created and shared with the community. So it's fantastic. And you don't have to really worry about downloading things like images or meshes or audio. The only one you have to worry about is models, because sometimes people will stick scripts in there that will try to hack your game. But I'll show you later how to download models safely from this. That'll probably be lesson near the end, 8, 9, or 10. Okay, so what we're going to look for is an arrow, because we want to let the user know that they're moving if they jump onto this platform. So let's type in arrow. Hit enter. And we get a lot of choices. And I'm going to look for one that moves in the same direction that the platform, this conveyor, moves you. So I'm looking for something that points to the right. This one actually looks pretty good, this little yellow one. So I'm just going to drag it. All you do is you click and hold with the left mouse button and then drag it over to your piece. And this actually points in the wrong direction. So let's look for another direction. So I'm going to hit Control Z. I think it's because the way that I'm rotated. So I'm just going to look for another one. You can rotate your piece as well, but let me just find one that points to the left just to get some more practice here. The one I usually use is right here. Oh, here it is. I usually use this one, this green one with the double arrowheads. So I'm going to click that one and paste it on my piece. And now if I push play, this lets me know that I am going to move, and it tells me the direction I'm going to move in. And if I don't, oh, actually, I guess I can climb on the sides. Okay, that's new. Anyway, it will drop you off eventually. Okay, and so that's it. We have a part. Let me close this toolbox. We have a part now, a conveyor, that we can reuse. And so if we wanted to save this, we would just click on it here in the Explorer window, right click, and save to Roblox. And we would just give it a name, decide if we wanted to allow other people to use it. I'm going to say yes, and then submit. And if you do that, it gives you a nice successfully submitted message. Go ahead and close this. And we are done. We have made a conveyor. And because I've saved it to my toolbox, I don't really need to keep it. But we could make kind of a sequence of these, or a little path of these conveyors. And so let me show you how we would do that. Let me zoom out a little bit. And we're just going to make copies of these. So I'm going to turn collisions on so that these stack on top of each other when I make a copy. Oh, and actually, I didn't have the move button selected. There we go. And then just move it, make a couple of copies, move it, make another copy. And now we have a little stair of these that we can test. So let's go ahead and test this. And this looks great. And this looks like what I showed you in the demo, except, oh, you know what? It did not copy over the settings. Let's go back. When we made a copy, if we go into these other ones, so this first one, if you go down to assembly linear velocity, it's got a 2. But if we go to the other ones, it didn't copy them. And I'm not sure why it does that. Usually when you make duplicates, it'll copy the properties, but it's easy. Just go in there and make those a 2. Okay, and now we can test it again. Make sure this works. And I did not make it across. Let me try that again. And they all work. And they all look great. You could also change the colors on these if you wanted to. Just click in here. And let's see, change the color to whatever you would like on all of these. Okay, so those are the conveyors. So let's go ahead and get rid of these. And the next piece that we're going to make is actually kind of a trampoline. And we'll do that in the next video. See you then.